Hello, and welcome to Tea and Tarot. I'm your host, Em. In this podcast, we dive into the world of tarot each week, along with a cup of tea. Some weeks we dive into readings, others into the cards themselves, and some we explore learning about tarot. This week we're doing something a little different, exploring a little about how I work to incorporate tarot in my daily life. Before I start sharing, let me introduce to you today's tea. Chrysanthemum tea is a floral delight that offers a gentle, honey-like sweetness. Its calming properties make it a wonderful choice for unwinding and relaxation. I appreciate its soothing aroma and the way it eases tension. This tea is a fragrant escape to tranquility with every cup. So, you know that tarot has been a big part of my life for so long, and it's hard to imagine a day without it, but it wasn't always that way. When I first started with tarot, and for the majority of the time I've had my decks, I used it much more sporadically, like when I had a burning question or when life threw me a curveball. But over time, it evolved into something more integrated, something that feels natural, as brushing my teeth or making my morning cup of tea. So, let me share. Morning rituals with tarot. Let's start with mornings, my absolute favorite time to connect with the cards. There's something so peaceful about the early hours, when the world is still quiet and the day is full of potential. My morning routine with tarot is pretty simple, but incredibly grounding. Every morning, after I've made my tea, usually something with caffeine like Earl Grey or a standard black tea, I sit down with my tarot deck. I don't do a full spread. Instead, I just pull one card. This card is my card of the day, and it sets the tone for everything that follows. I like to think of it as a little nudge from the universe, a gentle reminder of what I need to focus on or be mindful of as I go about my day. For example, let's say I pulled the Four of Swords in the morning. That card, with its message of rest and reflection, might remind me to take things slow, to find moments of peace amidst my busy schedule. Maybe I'll decide to take a short walk during my lunch, or make sure I don't overcommit to plans that day. It's a small practice, but it's one that helps me start my day with intention. So tip 1. If you're new to incorporating tarot into your daily life, try starting with just one card in the morning or a time that feels natural to you. Think of it as daily meditation, a mindful pause before you dive into the day. It's a simple way to connect with the cards without feeling overwhelmed. Journaling with tarot. Another way I've woven tarot into my life is through journaling. I'm a big fan of journaling. It's like having a conversation with yourself, a way to process thoughts and emotions. Tarot adds another layer to this practice, offering insights that I might not have considered otherwise. In the evening, after my day has wound down, I like to pull a few cards and reflect on the day. I might ask questions like, what did I learn today? Or how can I grow from today's experiences? I then journal about the cards I pulled, letting the imagery and symbolism guide my thoughts. One time I had a particularly challenging day at work. Everything seemed to be going wrong, and by the end of it, I was completely drained. That evening, I pulled the Five of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Star. The first two cards reflected the chaos and the loss I felt, but the Star brought a sense of hope, a reminder that even after the most difficult days, there's a chance for renewal and healing. Writing about those cards helped me shift my perspective and end my day on a more positive note. So tip 2. Use tarot as a journaling tool to reflect on your day. Whether it was a good day or a tough one, the cards can help you process your experiences and find meaning in them. Plus, it's a great way to track your growth over time. Tarot is a decision tool. Let's talk about decision making. We all face countless decisions every day, from the mundane to the significant. For me, tarot has become an invaluable tool in navigating these choices. Now, I'm not saying I pull out the cards for every little decision, like what to have for lunch, but for the bigger decisions, tarot helps me tap into my intuition. There was a time when I was debating whether to take on a new project at work. It was a great opportunity, but I wasn't sure if I was ready for such added responsibility. I pulled a 3-card spread. 1 card for the current situation, 1 for the potential outcome, and 1 for guidance. The cards were the Chariot, the 3 of Pentacles, and the Hermit. The Chariot was all about moving forward with determination, while the 3 of Pentacles suggested collaboration and success through teamwork. The Hermit, however, reminded me to also seek inner wisdom and ensure I wasn't overextending myself. These cards didn't make the decision for me, but they helped me see the situation from different angles, ultimately leading me to accept the project with a commitment to balance and self-care. So tip 3. When you're faced with a big decision, try using tarot to explore your options. It's less about predicting the future and more about gaining clarity on your feelings and the potential paths ahead. Tarot for mindfulness and self-care. Finally, let's talk about mindfulness and self-care. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of ourselves. Tarot can be a gentle reminder to slow down and check in with how you're feeling. Sometimes, I'll use tarot as part of a self-care ritual. If I'm feeling particularly stressed or overwhelmed, I'll light a candle, pour myself a soothing cup of tea, and do a simple spread focused on self-care. One of my favorite spreads is a 3-card layout. 1 card for what my body needs, 1 for what my mind needs, and 1 for what my spirit needs. There was a time when I was feeling burnt out, and I pulled the 9 of Wands, the Moon, and the Empress. The 9 of Wands reflected my exhaustion. The Moon highlighted the emotional undercurrents I was ignoring, and the Empress reminded me of the importance of nurturing myself. That reading led me to take a much-needed break, focusing on rest, creativity, and reconnecting with nature. So tip 4. Use tarot as a tool for mindfulness and self-care. Whether you do a full spread or just pull a single card, let the cards guide you to what you need most in that moment. So there you have it. That's how I've incorporated tarot into my daily life. It's not just about doing readings, it's about creating a daily practice that brings mindfulness, reflection, and intention into everything you do. Whether you're just starting out with tarot or you've been working with the cards for years, I hope these tips inspire you to make tarot a part of your everyday routine. If you're interested in diving deeper into tarot, check out my blog, Universe of Tarot. And if you're looking for ways to deepen your own practice, I've got some great Notion templates available on my Ko-fi store. Visit my link in bio to learn more. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion, please do subscribe or find me on social media. And if you have questions you want to learn about tarot? Drop me a message and I'll see to add it to a future episode. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep learning.